perfect circle in the skies over Cleveland. Getting out to the left-hand side. Pulls the nose of it up. And for the people on the left-hand side. Over the top, Daniel. And upside down, hanging by the belt for a short period of time. David Maruta and the beautiful team. Florida, and he is the mayor of Milton. He also was the sheriff of Milton at one time. Over the top of the hammerhead turn, that's hard left rudder. Full throttle over the top, smoke falls from the pipe as he comes straight down from the left-hand side in the beautiful skies of Cleveland. Is Cleveland great? He goes vertical into the sky at show center. Roll to the corner turn. Shows you the bottom of the wing. Over the top of the hammerhead turn on the way down, looking for a quarter all direction. There it is. Straight out. Right-hand side. This is the same aircraft that I'll be doing the wing walking on later on this afternoon. Again, vertically into the sky. And at the top, no longer wanting to climb. Hard left rudder. Pivots to the left wing. Right over the top. Follows that column of smoke. Right back down. Towards the ground. Speeds through 200 miles per hour. Gently over to the left corner of the cockpit goes the control stick. Probably utilizing both hands on this aileron roll. Now, Johnny, it's rumored that you're going to be going through some of these same maneuvers outside of the aircraft. Is that true? He won't let me in the airplane. I have to get outside. No. Here's that engine pull back. Going out the far right-hand side. First circles it out over the right. Down low now. And circling it around. Smoke boiling from the engine, and that smoke is Corvus oil. It's a 10-weight warm oil, a very light oil that they use to polymer, and it will condense back to little droplets of oil settling back down and not polluting the skies. Moving it on a semi-night page, Birdman will show you the beautiful profile of a 1943. The engine where they used to be a 220 out the far left-hand side. Bird levels it out and circles it out over the lake. Bird bagels from Milton back and mounting the rack and fueling it up and getting a little more smoke oil in it and ready to go for later on this afternoon when I will again, for the 12th time, be so privileged to entertain Cleveland. Cleveland's my favorite place. Is this a beautiful place? And don't forget, the steering you just saw flying later on this afternoon. A group of the employees and guests from Coca-Cola are here today watching the air show from the Flight Line Lodge. To the folks in the Coca-Cola Loge, welcome, and we hope you're all having a good time. How can you not have a good time in Cleveland when the people get together? Is it good? Oh, yeah! Oh, front page of the newspaper, Mr. Show-Off Kasian. Flying between buildings downtown, I suppose. Well, I was just hanging around downtown on Tuesday, you know. Yes, literally hanging around. Today we're going to take a little slow, I'm told. I heard that. 200 miles per hour. I got to see this. Hey, look at that grand old gal. It's gone to the end of the runway. Johnny, I want to thank your official sponsor this weekend, our great friends from Coca-Cola, back on hand again this year, the official soft drink of our 62nd version of the Cleveland National Air Show. I know you have a lot to do, Johnny. It's always a pleasure working with you, whether it's in the air or on the ground or in a car. I don't care, sir. You are the best. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Johnny Kasian. And a job well done by his pilot of the Coca-Cola Special, Bert Maples. Now, we'll take you back in time for a little aero nostalgia as the Continental Airlines, Continental are official airlines of the Cleveland National Air Show, showing us at least one of the 3 aircraft that they have on ground display. This is the legendary the airplane that is credited with changing the world. Now, the reason this airplane was credited with changing the world Here's how it changed the world. It made the globe smaller. The DC-3 originally came out back in 1935. It was built in Santa Monica on Clover Field. That airport still stands. However, the manufacturer, McDonnell, has since moved the factory to the Long Beach airport. But still at the Santa Monica airport, there's a beautiful restaurant overlooking the runways and overlooking the nearby hills, and that restaurant is appropriately called the DC-3. Now, the DC-3 came out in 1935. Travel in aviation, commercial travel in aviation was changing very rapidly. The reason this airplane was such a tremendous success is because it was the first aircraft that could support itself solely by carrying passengers or freight without a subsidy from the government. It had the required number of seats versus the required horsepower and speed to be able to balance the budget at an airline. Prior to that time, you had to rely on government contracts and a certain amount of air mails to survive in the world. How about giving Bert Maples and the Coca-Cola 450 Stearman a big wave, he moving back, and around that airplane, on top, between the wings, under the wings will be Johnny Jason, flying at the same speeds and some of the same maneuvers. to that fence. They're looking straight on down. The far left, down there by the stack displays. Give those jumpers a wave. Let them know that they're coming in to see you. Some of the jumpers waving. Everybody here on the ground. That's our free fall photographer. We hope you've enjoyed this demonstration and invite you all to stay enjoy the entire air show. And we'll be back here this afternoon at 3:04. Now, once this cameraman finally pulls down slightly on that left toggle, let's bring him on in as he lands safely on the runway. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the U.S. Army Golden Knights will be back. How about a big round of applause for that great opening and a job done by the man that brought in the Russian Republic Sergeant Jeff Petty. Great job as always, and yes, the Golden Knights will be back here as he sets up for the slow ball. And this maneuver will be dedicated to our visitors from the United Kingdom. This maneuver is called in the United Kingdom the Avalanche, and here's the reason why. It's big inside the box service hook with a snap roll on top. As he recovers on that down line with a snap roll, he's coming up for a 4-point hesitation roll. Stopping the aircraft exactly every 90 degrees. There's one. He knows where. Two to the upside down. Back to the right side of position. Now the turnaround maneuver off to the left. After that half Cuban 8 turnaround or 5/8 of a loop will be a turn and a half snap. Watch that happen. Up goes the aircraft, seeming to pick up speed as he now does another type of loop in the sky. This is the square loop on the loop with sides across the bottom as one. Up the top on the right. Immediately, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the upside down. 4 points to the 8-point roll, half roll back to the right side up position. Immediately pulling back on the stick. 2 points to the 4-point roll, 3 points to the 4-point roll, 4 points to the 4-point roll, capping it off on top. Now he comes back in. After setting up for the square loop for the 4-point roll. Yet another maneuver. As he looks for speed, entering about 190 to 200 miles per hour. That brings him to inside the cockpit. This will go there straight up is number 2. That up 45 line is right here. That's number 3. Upside down and across the top is number 4. Up below the stick on the 45 degree down on his line. Straight down to 6. Complete. And now immediately, without rest or relaxation, pulling back on the stick, the G-meter goes up to about 6. Hesitating twice on the way up. Now we'll watch for Leo. On the down line to set up for the 2.5 turn snap. Let's try that right here. Once, twice, and a half. 2.5. Now he finds himself upside down. Goes to the 9-inch flight. Pushes the stick going around this 9-inch 360-degree turn. This maneuver called a kilowatt circle dedicated to Leo's friend Daniel. Setting up for the roll once again. Now Leo will be turning the aircraft around. He will be getting ready and setting up from the left to the right in a very special flight. A flyby that is called the computer roll. Now believe it or not, in one pass from your left to your right, Leo will start on one double snap roll to the right. He will immediately roll to the left. He will immediately then half roll the aircraft to the right. He will then set up for a 1/2 outside snap. He will then recover with a 3/4 roll to the right, and he will conclude with a 3/4 outside snap. And this will be now. Now, why do we call it the computer roll? Well, Leo says, in a lighthearted manner, I've got an autopilot. I just put the computer card in, and the airplane does the rest. Well, we know this. No, there is no computer inside of the airplane. No, there is no autopilot inside of the airplane. The computer that controls this airplane is Leo Rollins-Lager. Now watch as he comes back in from your left, setting up for that Cobra, setting up for that computer roll. The power will be back on the manufacturing march. There's a double snap to the left. Okay, now change direction. It's going to the right. Now, half snap back to the right side of position. 3/4 roll. you by the house of Below back in. He'll be setting up for a maneuver. And air show center, we call the torque roll. Pulls the nose of the aircraft straight up. Starts rolling the aircraft. The speed will start to dissipate from 100 to 50 to 40 to 30 to 20 to 10 to 0. He will then shift into reverse. Still rolling the airplane and backing up on the tail. Still rolling and backing up. 3 and 4 and a half lengths of the airplane. Now the weight of the Lycoming engine takes over. You'll hear the top cavity perhaps just as he recovers off to the right. Now coming back in after that turnaround, he'll be setting up for a maneuver that was invented back in the 1930s by Hollywood stunt pilot Frank Clark. It is called the Cobra Roll. Essentially, Leo will draw a cobra snake about ready to strike in the air. He'll do that with a smoke. He'll first pull back on the stick, push forward, pull back, push forward, and then enter a 4-turn snap. And there's the pull, there's the push, there's the pull, there's the push. Now let's start the snap roll. Let's start right in here. There's 1. There's number 2. He holds the pass 2, holds the 3. He's got 3. He holds the 4. And yes, the cobra has struck. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Leo Ladenslager. As the cockpit temperature starts to reach 100, he will lose about 2.5 to 3 pounds on this flight. And we go back to the cockpit a little later on. You will hear that he will be short of breath, just like our competitor in the triathlon. Tremendous physical and mental strain as you go through these maneuvers. Now he'll be setting up once again, coming back into the air show line. Setting up for a variation of the inside loop. Nice edge flight. He'll get the knife edge flight by snap rolling the aircraft right here. Over the bottom like 10. Feed in the rudder. He will allow a quarter turn the airplane right here. He'll pull back on the stick. And the knife edge loop is now in the lead. Now without any rest or relaxation, back on the stick once again as the G meter reaches 5. Leo effectively weighing around 1,000 to 1,100 pounds on that pull-up. As he does, he sets up for this sectional hammerhead on the way up. We'll watch for the snap roll on the way down, always watching the line, compensating for the crosswind that is coming across the runway at this time. As he makes his way back to Airshow Center, because of the he'll be setting up for a maneuver now, possible several years ago. It will be the sectional hammerhead, straight up. He'll kick the rudder once, and hold there. Twice, and hold there. Still flying. 3 times, and hold there. One more kick of the rudder, a quarter turn to the left, and a snap roll on the way down. Now, on the way up, we should get 2 points for the 8-point hesitation roll. He will soon be letting off the wingtip smoke. And as he does, we will get ready for the dedication back to the cockpit of the Lumshabak. Now, as many of you know, the Lumshabak is Czechoslovakian street slang. It's out of control. The Lumshabak, loosely translated from slang into English, is the equivalent of drinking too much rum brandy. We are now setting up the defying gravity, drawing the letter S in the sky the hard way from the ground up. This is the performance, this is the aerodynamics, and this is the skill of flying that is synonymous with Leo Ladenslager. Now we have heard off the wingtip smoke, and it's time to go to the cockpit for the dedication of the Lumshabak. Okay, get ready. After this, everything else is just alike. Therefore, you will set up for that tumble. You're being tipsy. You're out of control. Watch this. But now the nose will start pulling over the tail over the nose as the aircraft doubles out of control and upside down. Picking up the horizon now after a tremendous amount of disorientation. Hollering down the nose to Leo and the Lumshabak. But no, this guy champion is not finished yet. We have not changed the house of the road. Now we're waiting. Folks from the Budweiser distributor from here in Cleveland, Ohio, will sit up and are joined today's show Leo's performance in the White Line Rouge area. Now, thanks once again as Leo sits up for the snap roll series to our great friends at the House of the Rose, and thanks for helping us make Budweiser the official beer of our air show this weekend. Now, direct your attention out on the runway. You will see crew members out there holding 2 poles. Strung between the poles is a string. On the string, a red ribbon. The pole is only 2.5 feet wider than the wingspan of the Bud Light 200. Leo Ladenslager will attempt to fly between the poles and cut the ribbon. Now, here's what I didn't tell you. He is going to try it upside down as he has rolled the aircraft into the inverted flight position. Crosswind on the runway. Taking him the rudder. Say, put our wind. Let's see. What's it doing? And nearly goes in the snap rolls. And into the night air once again. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for your sky champion, Leo Ladenslager, and the Bud Light 62nd Annual Cleveland National Air Show, making aviation history again this year with all of our visitors from around the globe. Now, many of you know who visit air shows and watch the performance of all of the great stars that shine overhead the major cities in North America know that we call Leo Laudenslager Leo the Looper. If you're talking about Leo and he's not around, if you merely say, well, the Looper said this or the Looper did this, everybody knows who you talk about. Now, here's the reason we call him the Looper. He is set up for a final approach with two loops, still on final approach, slow-rolling the aircraft into knife edge flight, side-slipping the aircraft, the throttle back against the stop, bleeding off all the speed, and right at the air show center, as he has so many times, a beautiful three-point touchdown. Law enforcement are paramount. Thank you again to all the officers and enlisted personnel of the Coast Guard's 9th District. Two, we would like to thank the Cleveland Harbor Station Coast Guard. Cleveland National Air Show would like to extend a warm welcome to all of our friends at Cleveland Harbor Station Coast Guard. Today, Chief John Kearns and the family are joining us along with Steve Holland and his family. Chief Kearns and staff are maintaining safety on the water this weekend, and we appreciate all of their help. There's the beautiful lines of Flight 200 as he does a little curl just before touching down. The bells go off. He gets down to the cockpit. Ladies and gentlemen, crew of the American, the Lewis Cup crew, the one and the only Leo Laudenslager. Next down the nose wheel, flying again today. 3 days in a row right on the mark. Now Leo, overhead to the right. As you can see, and as you might have heard, early on his career while he was in the United States Air Force, Leo Laudenslager was a technician on a B-52. Rolling to the right now, the same aircraft, the same type of aircraft that Leo was the crew member on before starting his quest for excellence, is about to fly overhead. The giant four-engine Boeing B-52. 8 engines smoking, count the number of tires, and look at the unusual position of the landing gear. It is tandem underneath the fuselage with the landing gear on each wing tip. Wingspan is 185 feet, and the wings do flex. That's the reason for those landing gear that you saw on the left wingtip and on the right wingtip. When the aircraft is on the ground, there is so much flex in the wings, they would virtually droop to the earth if they weren't supported by that retractable landing gear on each wingtip. Les Shockley, very active on the track, and still very active, and hates to lose. Here is how we are going to handicap the race. High above, Gene Soucy has 260 horsepower. Les Shockley has 36,000 horsepower. But here's how we handicap the race. Gene Soucy will be diving his Eagle, representing Ameritech Pages Plus down over the top of the Shockwave. The Shockwave will not release the brakes until he sees a bit of Gene Soucy's fuselage. This is what Gene may see if you look low to your left. He may see raw flames hanging out the back of those 3 jet engines. cross-controlling to do because Johnny Gazian provides aerodynamic drag on one side of the airplane that isn't matched on the other side. Now, for all you folks that watch a good deal of TV, you may have seen Johnny Gazian much more than you think. Certainly, he was featured on the front page of the newspaper flying on the aircraft in the downtown Cleveland area on Friday. But because he was one of Hollywood's busiest stuntmen, Johnny Gazian is often seen but not recognized in that role. Well, Johnny Gazian has been featured twice on That's Incredible. He filmed 4 episodes of The Dukes of Hazzard across the nation. Now, as they pick up altitude, one of the most impressive bits of stunt work that I saw, my favorite Johnny Gazian film, was a made-for-TV film called Shelter Canyon. Like most films, they had a chase scene, but instead of being done with cars or horses, it was done with a biplane, much like this one overhead. Biplane chasing a helicopter. The helicopter had stolen cargo, and it was the biplane that was trying to chase the helicopter. Now, Johnny Gazian was riding on top of the biplane, as he will be doing today, and the chase was filmed, believe it or not, throughout the twisting turns and below the rim of the Grand Canyon. Some very exciting chase scenes down there with the walls of the canyons on both sides of the aircraft, and pretty soon the biplane linked up with the net and the cable that had been, and not to ever gain a specific speed, even pointing straight down towards the ground. Now, even though Johnny Gazian on the top wing of the aircraft does not present a big target, the square feet of his body provide the drag of another Stearman biplane, but without having the advantage of a second engine. And also diving the aircraft longer in order to achieve the same entry speeds necessary to complete the maneuvers. Once again, that's because of the inefficiency of Johnny Gazian on the top wing. Now, consider yourself in the position that Johnny is on at this time, looking down at the spectators and at the runway. And you can see it would be a very adventurous ride. Going through some of these aerobatic maneuvers, he is going through the same high roads as the pilot and the airplane are going through. Once again, finding that air mass as the speed picks up to a maximum speed of between 180 and 200 miles per hour. Go to, and quite often the wind chill factor will be tremendously uncomfortable to Johnny Gazian. True, if there are any moisture drops in the air, as they fall on you and I, they drop rather gently. But because of the speeds utilized by the Stearman, every time Johnny Gazian hits one of those beads of moisture or a raindrop, it's like being shot at relatively close range by a BB gun. So it may look smooth. It is fun for Johnny, but it is a tremendous amount of work that you and I don't think about day in and day out. I will tell you this too, in the entire world today, there are only about 13 teams that are touring, like Johnny and Bert, with individuals positioned outside of the aircraft. Of those 13, less than half, approximately 6, are bona fide wing walkers who change positions as well as changing poses on the outside of the aircraft. How do they do it? Well, I'll tell you this. I know what they do it without. No, there are no restraints, there are no cables, there are no ropes, and there are no wires. Johnny Gazian says it would all just get in the way. They rely on practice and the strength and careful moving, going hand over hand and arm over arm, foot over foot, to move a position from one point on the aircraft to the other. Now, Bert will be setting up for the horizontal passes. That means that all the acrobatics will be done by Johnny on the top wing. So each time he comes by, he will be assuming yet another pose. And this is the pose we call body surfing, as he is going to extend the arm 60 to 70 degrees out towards the propeller, utilizing his arms and hands to actually use the air as a surfer would utilize a wave, hitting himself against that rack on the top of the top wing. I can tell you, no easy task with that wind resistance. Plus, you have to remember, as you are flipping yourself upside down on the aircraft, you have to remember that propeller just inches out in front of you. You don't want to get your feet, legs, or hands anywhere near that turning propeller, because in a battle with a turning propeller, very few humans have come out the victor. Now, perhaps one of the most critical maneuvers with a person riding on the outside of the aircraft unrestrained is, of course, the landing. Pilot Bert Maples always has to be aware of the problem that could exist with a sticking brake or a tire that chooses to blow on landing. For that reason, they have strategically placed Johnny in an area where if that happened, there would be minimal damage done to his fuselage. Now you can see the U.S. Army Golden Knights being hosted this weekend by B.F. Goodrich Aerospace, making their way out to Show Center once again and getting in preparation for their full 30-minute performance in just several minutes by Coca-Cola. Okay, now the jumpers up, high and to the right. It is Sergeant Bryn McLeod, 2,329 jumps. And he will be flying the black flag of those prisoners of war and those still missing in action from Southeast Asia. In excess of 2,000 individuals yet unaccounted for. Makes me mad. The reason it does is because it looks so easy, but it is so difficult to do. It is the V formation barrel roll, and the reason for the difficulty is the difference in speeds between the inside pilot and the pilot flying the larger diameter of the circle. No two throttles are at the same position inside the cockpits, and the coordination is very difficult. Now as they come back in for a lazy 8 turnaround, you'll see the team coming back in for the formation loop. Holding that V formation throughout this formation flight, the wingman, Gene Susi on the left, on Thomas fuselage. They will make their adjustments with elevator, rudder, and aileron, as well as the throttle, in adjustment to that target spot on the fuselage. They will also be looking symmetry with the opposite wingman. Charlie now calls for the split as they give each other a little space and go to line abreast or wingtip to wingtip. He calls for the pull now as they reach the vertical, the speed starts to dissipate. On the signal for Charlie, all three members of the team will execute the formation hammerhead turnaround for the Eagles thumb. Straight back down once again as they come back in. They'll be setting up. We'll tell you about Eagle number 2. He is the right wingman. His name is Tom Overesny. Tom is also one of the members of our victory to the United States. National aerobatic champion. As we see the team now split up, it is Charlie first. In the middle is Gene. And off on the far left is Tom Overesny. And Air Show Center, Charlie Hillard first executes the hammerhead turn, followed by Gene. Watch for Charlie to snap roll on the way down. Gene will three-quarter snap. On the way down, Tom will three-quarter snap. Now. Maintaining the same altitude. The snap roll across the top back line here. From upside down, back to upside down once again. Now the pull of the controls. Tom Overesny. National aerobatic champion. Association. Also the recipient of the Cliff Henderson Achievement Award, with ceremonies held here just a couple of years ago. So, two of the three Eagles now you are aware of as they come back in now, setting up. And the United States doing Operation Desert Storm. That's the one dedicated to the citizens of the U.S. who supported our troops during Operation Desert Storm. Ladies and gentlemen, from Ameritech Pages Plus, from Charlie, Gene, and Tom. At a closure rate of 400 miles per hour, Charlie Hillard will be threading the needle, flying between his two wingmen in the opposite direction. He'll cross 3 distinct times. He will lose sight of the team. The strict airspace discipline. As they go back, now they will soon be back in formation, although they are head-on or opposed to one another. Here's how it happens. Charlie Hillard does a half delay. See there, back in formation once again. As they maneuver around, we'll tell you about Eagle number 3. His name is Gene Susie. Gene is currently living in Houston, Texas. By the way, Bob Showcam in exhibition flying today, along with his wing walking partner, Teresa Snow. To keep most people busy, Gene finds time during the week to be a captain on a DC-9 for a major airline. Now across the top, in that very typical wing tip to wing tip. After the loop is complete, they slide back down to that V formation once again. Now, as they come back in, they'll be setting up for a maneuver called the down bomb burst. Charlie will be leading the team in. They'll be looking for an entry speed of about 185 miles per hour. As they dive down, and Charlie reaches that speed at Airshow Center, the wingmen, targeting on Charlie's fuselage, will follow him through one half of a loop. After the loop is complete, they will find themselves with the nose of the Eagles pointing straight down towards the ground. On the go from Charlie, all crew members will pick a different point on the compass. As they go through the first half of the loop, the speed starts to dissipate now from 180 down to 125, down to 100, down to 80, down to about 70. Now straight back down. Charlie calls for the sprint now. The wingman Tom and Gene once again will be matching Charlie's movements by keeping that target position on his fuselage in the same relative position. They will achieve the vertical after turning the smoke on now. Point the nose of the aircraft straight up. As they do, the speed starts to dissipate. Charlie once again will call for the spot on the compass. And the bomb burst over the study will be complete. They call for the split and break now. So that has Charlie Hillard on to the right. Tommy Bonarosi on to the left. And inertial center is Gene Susie. Now we'll get ready for once again to head on a collision series of maneuvers. But watch the man in the middle as Gene Susie dives down. He'll be looking for about 200 miles per hour. He will do a 5.5 to 6 G pull-up. As he does, stop that roll and go the opposite direction all the way around once. Now watch for Charlie coming in from your right with a down vertical snap. Tom coming in from your left with a down vertical snap as they get ready to execute the side swipe maneuver. Watch as they bring the aircraft very low to the ground. At the last. To the great Gene snap roll, Susie by Charlie and by Tom. By the way, if you've been our guest here in the last couple of days, you know that these three individuals are in their 21st season. Very closely, as he is in the middle, he will half roll his airplane to the upside down position. His BF Goodrich aviator tires will be pointing up towards the sky. The wingman will be tucking in. Off of Charlie's fuselage, maintaining that V formation. Charlie now, going into a bit of discomfort, hanging upside down as you... Hanging by the ropes, but applying that formation just the same. Now remember, Charlie Hillard is the leader of the Eagles. There's no reason why he should have to take this discomfort, so he says, I'm going to turn the tables on these wingmen of mine. And before you can say Eagles, Charlie is now sitting up straight, the blood going down in the normal position. But look at the wingman, upside down and still maintaining that V formation. There'll be a good shot of pointing up towards the sky and almost down towards the ground. Now everybody does a nice roll. As they do, watch for a formation change. If we get a formation change, we are in for the spectacular. Yes, it has happened. Gene Soucy has left the left wing. He has moved over to the right wing position. Tom Poberesne has moved to the right wing position, is now flying in the left slot. Charlie Hillard has relinquished the lead and is now trailing the team in this maneuver they call the Texas T. And now, our disclaimer. If you have a weak stomach or you are the faint of heart, do not. I repeat, do not watch this next maneuver. However, if you like action and excitement, especially if you have a camera, get ready for this next maneuver. Once again, everybody out of formation as they come back in. Flying the left position on our right is Tom Poberesne. Flying the right position on our left is Gene Soucy. And trailing the team is Charlie Hillard as they bear down at 200 miles per hour. On the crowd, Charlie Hillard calls for the smoke out. He says, okay, wingmen, go into night pitch flight now, and let's try switchblade. Competition. They were also going to see who would be the winner, that is, of the men's and the women's division. Competition was clearly between the USSR and the to allow him to gain enough points to bring home that Olympic gold medal. As the wingman gets center station, Charlie, certainly the judges, the international judges, had seen enough for a roll. But it wasn't until Charlie started sliding backwards on the tail, still rolling the airplane with torque of the engine, that they became ecstatic. Came off their feet. The United States of America. And 3/5 of that team in 1972 are these three gentlemen. Two other gentlemen consisted of the entire team. So ladies and gentlemen, Charlie Hillard, Gene Soucy, and Tom Poberesne, all three fighting for the honor of the United States of America in international aerobatic competition. I think you're right. By the way, they are brought to you this weekend, and all of their flights have been presented by our friends at Ameritech Pages Plus. Ameritech Pages Plus, also enjoying the show on the flight line of Loge area, providing a tremendous amount of support for our air show. Now as they come back in from your left and get ready for the pop-up break, we would like to take that opportunity to reintroduce the team to you one last time.
Huh? Oh, it's great. It's over there. While Tom Moberzi was busy running the Experimental Aircraft Association, Charlie and Gene were out with a lot of other Hollywood stunt pilots and racing pilots, flying each and every day on location outside of Tucson, Arizona for that action-packed thriller. And now it's time for a little Starship action. Look forward to the left. It's crewed by Mark Spaulding and Tom Schiller. Mark Spaulding and Mark Schiller. 26 years of flying exterior. Tom Schiller is the manager of the Starship marketing for Beechcraft. Each one of these pilots have logged in excess of 7,000 hours of flying time, and all of the maneuvers you'll see here demonstrated today are certified through the Starship. Now, the great thing about the Starship, besides the stronger than the conventional method of construction, there's that very original design. Two engines at the rear of the aircraft, reduction gearbox to turn the propellers. Now, the propellers are known as pusher props because they're not located out of the nose of the aircraft. And back there by the engines, where we usually see the rudder, did you see a rudder? No, you didn't. The reason being, the rudders are incorporated into the winglets. Now, as the helicopter comes by, the Beech Starship turns around. That helicopter is taking out. There's a bunch of hot dogs behind us in the Wienermobile, taking a well-deserved ride up and down the flight line in that very unusual vehicle, reminding us that Oscar Mayer is the official hot dog this weekend of our air show. Now, as the Starship comes back again, watch those winglets, or the 90-degree protrusions out at the wing tips. They also act, believe it or not, as the dual rudder. Now, they also have a tremendous function. On conventional airplanes, there's a lot of drag to move the air at the wingtip of the aircraft. By adding these winglets, or 90-degree extensions off of the wing, you tremendously reduce the drag, or the air turbulence over that wingtip extension. You'll also see a significant part of aviation history here in Ohio. Look at the nose. You see those two protrusions coming out at an angle off the nose? So that is known as a canard. That canard design allows the aircraft to have anti-stall tendencies. Now, many of you, many spectators, many people that are not part of aviation every day still equate a stall in an airplane to stalling a car. Allowing you to maintain or regain control in just a couple of seconds. Power plant and propeller packages are the same type of engines used here. A jet engine through a reduction gearbox turning a propeller. Very fuel-efficient engine. Miserly engine when it comes to burning fuel. And as you can hear, at fine power, a very quiet combination also. Into the 1990s and beyond. Quiet, fuel-efficient, fast, and strong. That's the key. By the way, we promised to tell you how that canard on the front of the aircraft deals with the state of Ohio. That canard has been rediscovered in recent years, I'll say in the past 10 years. Rediscovered because it was utilized in aviation before. Who utilized the canard? Well, no less than the Wright brothers. They're the individuals who first put a canard on the front of an aircraft, and we rediscovered that many, many years later. And yes, it worked for the Wright brothers, and yes, it still works. Now, as the Starship makes its way off the ground, as they taxi by in front of you, give our Starship pilots a big wave, if you will, for a job well done, sharing the beautiful aircraft with us, and you might be able to click off a few shots of that very, very innovative design. Now, you'll be happy because we're going into International Top Gun time. Here's how we're going to close out the show. First, the U.S. Navy is going to get a chance to fly the F-14. Then the U.S. Air Force is going to get a chance to fly the Stealth, the F-117. And then our Soviet pilots, the great test pilots, will be making the design zero in Moscow, USSR will be flying the MiG-29. Now the aircraft on the runway, you'll see the gunfighter 107.
Virginia. And other pneumatic ducting components for aircraft, jet engines, aerospace, and defense applications. Many military specifications for harsh environments such as those encountered during the Persian Gulf War. Boss is proud to honor the men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces by sponsoring the F-117 stealth here at the Cleveland Air Show. And thanks to all of the individuals on behalf of Stealth and Boss Aerospace. From tanks to missiles to aircraft and space shuttle, Boss Aerospace has connections in high places. I will tell you a little bit about this airplane. It is so super secret, or it was, that 2 years ago, nobody would have known it existed. It has only been in the last 18 months to 24 months that this aircraft has been able to be made public in demonstrations on the ground and in flying demonstrations like this at Cleveland. The aircraft was operational out of Tonopah, the test range some miles from Las Vegas, Nevada, back in 1983. It was tested mostly at night, and for that reason it was known as the Black Jet or the Nighthawk. Now, the reason it is named the Stealth because it is invisible to radar screens. That is the reason for the very unusual angles on the aircraft. Conventional aircraft, as you know, are very sleek and smooth. This aircraft, by the way, is stressed for a 6G load. It utilizes a General Electric engine that is utilized in several Top Gun type fighters, and it utilizes instrumentation that is common to other type of Top Gun jet fighters. For that reason, the airplane can fighter in that great Lockheed Skunk Work tradition is yet another innovative design credited to the geniuses at Lockheed. You may not have thought possible. When's the last time you saw this? Backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 feet. In come the twin afterburners, and the recovery is complete. How about a big round of applause to the left? Now we go. And the big 39. But no, he is not finished. He's got a machine. As he gets ready to come back into the air show line, he'll be setting up for several maneuvers. One of these will be the reverse Cuban 8. He will half roll the airplane to the upside down position, push the stick forward, gain altitude, and once he is peaked out at the predetermined altitude, he will then move the stick back towards the half portion of the aircraft, reverse direction, and make his way back into the air show line with that half Cuban 8 reverse maneuver. Now also get ready for the maneuver called the Cobra. Cobra has the nose of the aircraft pointing straight up and sometimes over on its back. as if suspended in the air by an invisible wire. It all happens relatively fast. It is like the Cobra striking. Aircraft now setting up for what we call the high alpha pass. The ability to fly in a stable condition in a relatively slow speed, making your pursuer fly past you. Once he does, all you have to do is hit the afterburners, and from having the enemy at your 6, you are now at the 6 o'clock position of your enemy. The alpha regime being the longitudinal axis of the aircraft, and for that reason, with nose pitched up about 30 or 35 degrees, that particular pass known as the high alpha pass. Now the aircraft comes back in once again. So much rich history here in aviation, and this year is not to be denied either. Okay, get ready. I think we're getting ready for the Cobra maneuver. It will happen very fast. We'll get the speed down to about 180. Let's go and try it out in here. Let's see if this is it. It may be. Flying the demonstration today. MiG-29 Friendship Tour t-shirts and sweatshirts. Yes, they are a very popular item. Yes, we have them here. Air shows are the only place we have those. The price is right, and if you want a unique t-shirt, a golf shirt, a sweatshirt for yourself, this will be the place to get it. They are for sale. We have your size available, and you could be the first kid on your block to have the MiG-29 Friendship Tour sweatshirt, t-shirt, and golf shirt. On the front, the MiG-29 in flight, and on the back, the full lineup of dates that the MiGs will be flying, starting with Cleveland and then making their way across the United States and ending up out in California. As the MiG touches down and the drogue chute is now deployed, we'd like to once again thank the co-hosts of the MiG-29, and along with our co-host, give the pilot a big round of applause. Our co-host for the first national flag of Ohio, bringing you the MiG-29, along with Marco Tech. Aviation for over 50 years and an industry leader, flying the fastest, safest, and most technologically advanced aircraft and engine system accessories available. Marco Tech and the first national flag of Ohio, the official co-sponsors of the MiG-29 Friendship Tour flights this entire weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, talking about some of the best top-end airplanes in the world today. How about a big round of applause for all of our great performers, and we want to thank you for your sweatshirts, your MiG-29 caps, your MiG-29 golf shirts, and whatever you happen to have picked up on this great weekend. No matter if you drove or rode with them, if you are separated, go now. Go directly now to the WMMS Information Center that is located by the Barnstormers Fair. Barnstormers Fair is a very large red and white tent by the bleachers. Go to the WMMS Information Center, hold your position there. If you hold your position there,